hope is in you only. My heart you hold, 'cause you made this sinner holy and your glory is so beautiful. I fall onto my knees in awe. In the heartbeat of my life is to worship in your light. Your glory is so beautiful. 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 And glory, glory, Jesus, you are good. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Jesus, you are good. We sing glory, glory, hallelujah. Jesus, you are good. Oh, we sing glory, glory, hallelujah. Jesus, you are good.
Hey, good morning, Beaver Creek Christian Church. Let's get up on our feet and let's worship this God, this awesome God that we have. Chains around us, by your grace we are
Again and again and again and again, you rescued me out of the mess I was in. You traded my sorrow for something to sing. Now I'm dancing on the grave that I once lived in. Goodbye, yesterday. I'm living in the light of a new day. I won't waste another minute in my old ways. Praise the Lord, I've been born again. Goodbye, yesterday. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. I've got resurrection in my veins. Praise the Lord, I've been born again, again and again and again. You rescued me out of the mess I was in. You traded my sorrow for something to sing. Now I'm dancing on the grave that I once lived in. Again and again and again and again, you rescued me out of the mess I was in. You traded my sorrow for something to sing. Now I'm dancing on the grave that I once lived in. I have decided to follow Jesus. The world behind me, the cross before me, and I won't turn back. I have decided to follow Jesus. The world behind me, the cross before me, and I won't turn back. I have decided to follow Jesus. The world behind me, the cross before me, and I won't turn back. I've decided to follow Jesus. The world behind me, the cross before me, and I won't turn back. I won't turn back. And I won't turn back. And I won't turn back. Cross before me, and I won't turn back. I won't turn back. I won't turn back. The world behind me, the cross before me, and I won't turn back. Again and again and again, you rescued me out of the mess I was in. You traded my sorrow for something to sing. Now I'm dancing on the grave that I once lived in. Again and again and again and again, you rescued me out of the mess I was in. You traded my sorrow for something to sing. Now I'm dancing on the grave that I once lived in. I've been born again. Lord, I've been born again. because I hear it roar. I don't wanna fear the storm. I don't wanna fear loud, church. Let faith rise up, oh heart, believe. Let faith rise up in me. Let faith rise up, oh heart, believe. Let faith rise up in me. Let faith rise up, oh heart, believe. Let faith rise up in me. Let faith rise up, oh heart, believe. Let faith rise up in me. Peace be still, say the word and I will set my feet upon the sea, till I'm dancing in the sea. Peace be still, you are here, so it is well. Even when my eyes can't see, I will trust the voice that speaks. You speak peace over me. You speak peace over me. You speak peace.
Good morning. My name's John. I'm one of the pastors here. My wife and I, we have 3 daughters. You hear me talk about them all the time. We are now just past birthday season because our birthday season is May 28, June 28, July 28. And so we're done with birthday season. So we now have 11, 9, 7. I'm starting to get used to saying those numbers now. And for this past summer, we were actually gifted. We asked for Christmas. One of my brothers and his wife gifted us passes to Kings Island, and they also got us dining passes. And so we would a lot of times go during the week, not on the weekend, and grab dinner and ride some rides. And it was fun to see the confidence of the girls as they start to get excited about riding different rides and some of the roller coasters. We went for our first weekend. School all day long. This is the first full week of school this past week. And so on Friday, when the girls got home, when Amber got home, she teaches up in Troy. And when they all got home, we went off for the evening on a Friday night to Kings Island. I remember why we don't like to go on the weekends. All season, I have been our middle, who is the first of our roller coaster enthusiasts. Since then, our eldest is as well, and the youngest is getting the taste of it. But she has wanted to do a Beast night ride. Okay, anyone here ever ridden the Beast? Okay. Has anyone ever done the night ride? Oh, yeah. Night ride is a totally different experience on the Beast. The other experience that I learned about 10 years ago when I was a student pastor, is we went one time as a student pastor, and we were able to go on like ride after ride with no wait. And I realized after 40, you want weights. You like the lines. After 4 rides, I was like, I'm going to sit with the kids who don't like roller coasters for a little bit, just to hang with them. And really, I was about ready to lose it all. We did a night ride on Friday. And if you've ever done a night ride on the Beast, you're clicking up that first hill. And here's the experience I've never had before on a night ride. It was a new moon. which means no moon you could see, no visible moon. So coming up that first hill, we're in the second and third seats, and we're hanging there as we're about to go down that first hill. And without a moon, you didn't see where you were dropping. It was just like drop into the darkness, into the pit. And the whole time, like I realized also at an age that I'm in, I'm really anticipating the moves, and I'm trying to move with it, okay? I'm trying to save my neck and my back and every part of my joints. But you couldn't see, you couldn't anticipate. And then especially when you got into the tunnels, pitch black. And I am not one to over-spiritualize things, but as I've been thinking about this time when we get to come together and gather together and encourage each other, grow together, be ready to take the charge and go out as we hold here tightly that we exist to live out the good news of Jesus by loving God, one another, in the cities we call home. I'm thinking about the cities we call home, and I'm thinking about the opportunity in our little cul-de-sac. The more and more, we've been there since about December now, and getting a chance to know more and more neighbors in our cul-de-sac. And I'm thinking about the difference between riding a night ride on the Beast with no moon out there and with at least some type of reflective light on that ride. And what an awesome privilege, response, heavy, big, but amazing responsibility we have to be that reflective light to the darkness around us. Because there's a lot of people in their life riding the ride of life in the dark. Not able to anticipate what turn is next, what's happening. But we're called as our identity of those who, disciples, those who choose to walk and take steps after Christ, to reflect that light. And so today, I just want us to take some time, and I want us to be specific in your head right now. For those of you who are new with us, we just set some time because we prioritize prayer. We know, we trust that God, when he says he turns his ear to us at all times, he's ready to listen. And he cares about what we care about. And I hope that we care about those neighbors, that person in the other cubicle next to you at work, praying about opportunities for us to be that reflective light, to be able to pray for them as they journey through the darkness and praying that they can see not us and who we are. I'm a Christian. No, we hope they see Christ. We see Jesus. So in this few moments, we're going to have some silence, and it's a chance for you to pray specifically for maybe some neighbors, some classmates, teammates, coaches. Maybe it's family members who are in that dark ride right now. Let's take some time and pray, and I'll bring us back together here in a moment. Father, we call out to you. Call out to you with hearts overflowing with praise and worship for who you are, for what you have done, what you are doing, and what you promise to do. We call out with grateful hearts that we can only call ourselves children of you because of the love that you you've showered on us. The grace, the forgiveness that you gave and paid the way. God, we thank you for the responsibility, the privilege, the identity to be children of yours, to be a reflective light of your love to those around us. God, I pray for courage. I pray for a supernatural injection of courage and boldness this week to live out your love. Without agenda, without manipulation, but simply because you showed us the love first. God, I pray for the people that you are working in their lives now, that you're softening their hearts, opening their eyes up to your truth. Pray for our neighborhoods, our classrooms, our families, our workplaces. The Lord, as we're disciples of yours, that we follow after you, that our reflective light helps them to see who you are. We love you, Jesus. Amen. We get to live out the love only because he first showed it to us. We get a chance to pause in a very busy week that I think we all have, busy weeks every week, it feels like. That if no other time that we pause now, and I pray that we pause throughout the week as well, but we get the chance to take a little cup of juice and a cracker and pause and remember what that means. What he's done for us, the love that he keeps showing us. And that we're only able to love others because he first loved us. And I love that. And what an awesome gift Jesus gave us to just pause in the tactile way to taste that cracker, to think about his broken blood, his broken body, and his shed blood for us, for you, for the person sitting in your seat, the person sitting on your couch if you're watching online. So I hope this isn't a time where we just go through the motions, that this isn't just part of our agenda of our day, but we pause and we think about the power of his love and how he demonstrated it to each and every one of us. When you're ready, 2 tables in the front, 2 tables in the back. There is a gluten-free option in the back as well for those who are gluten sensitive. When you're ready.
What is up, y'all? My name is Adam Williamson, and I am the Worship Arts Director here at Beaver Creek Christian Church. Thank you for being a part of worship and worshiping alongside us. Now let's jump into some exciting news about the events going on here at BCC over the next few weeks. First of all, we have been talking a lot this month about our Popcorn Festival is just 2 weeks away. We still have opportunities available for you to serve by helping out with the various games and activities in the Kids with a Z area. Scan this QR code to find out what we still need, or you can stop by the computer in the foyer on your way out this morning. Now, speaking of the Popcorn Festival, for the past couple years, we have moved our worship gathering on that Sunday to the festival stage and invited other churches in the area to join us if they'd like. With that in mind, we call it One Voice. We gather as Jesus followers, even though we might be part of a different church. So here's what you need to know. Our worship time will move to 9 a.m. and we will meet in the stage area beside the Kroger gas station along Dayton Xenia Road. So we encourage you not only to plan to worship together alongside us, but invite friends as well. Now, for those who choose to, following our worship gathering, we will head out and take our carts around the festival vendors with some breakfasty type snacks and offer to pray with them as well. Now, we hinted at this earlier this summer, but we are going to try something new this fall. We're calling them seasonal groups. Here's a brief introduction of what we've got planned and how you can participate in these opportunities to grow in your walk with the Lord and in your relationship with others on our journey together. Cue video.
Hey, I'm John.
And I'm Ed.
One of our values here in BCC is attack isolation. What we mean by that is life is done better together. We're on a journey together in this life. And we want to come up with opportunities to connect with each other beyond just our Sunday morning gatherings.
So as a staff, we've come up with this idea that we're calling seasonal groups. Now, as a staff, it's always kind of funny. We're trying to figure out names for stuff, and we're grateful to Christy. She usually just cuts right through it and helps us, nail down names. So we're calling these seasonal groups. Now, obviously, this fall, it's the fall seasonal groups. And the idea is, again, to offer opportunities to grow, but also to build relationships and connect with each other in our church.
And we want to make sure to clarify these are not classes that is just about content. Even if it's good content, we want to focus on connection as well. And so we want to look at these as groups, as a gathering of people to come together to connect, grow together, and get to know each other as well.
So it's kind of this idea. So think content in the context of connection. You look at the three C's. You can tell we're preachers, right? So that's the idea behind this. Is again delivering content, but offering opportunities, to connect and build relationships and friendships with other people.
And so for this year, this new concept of groups, we're actually having 3 sessions. We're going to have a fall session, a winter session, and a spring session. We're going to be about 8 to 10 weeks, and then an additional week at the end of each of those sessions for all the groups to come together and celebrate. In this first session in the fall, it actually corresponds really well to where it's part of our BCC Thanksgiving dinner that we'll actually go to get together in November. Yeah.
Yep. So, this idea of seasonal groups, we want to be real clear. These aren't home groups. This is different, right? So we've got this idea that these seasonal groups are shorter term. Like I said, 8 to 10 weeks. This fall, is 10 weeks. And so we've got that going for us. Now, for the topics and content, if you remember, earlier this summer, we asked everybody to participate in this survey, right? So we got a whole bunch of great ideas and just help people to identify what they think they need for their next steps, right?
Yeah. And some of those obstacles we found is maybe it's scheduling or conflicts with just family busy schedules. But we have 5 actual options for this fall session, fall 5 groups that we want to provide, and it actually gives you some different days and times that maybe it'll work better for you and or your family. We're looking at Sunday morning at 9:30 here at BCC. Is Tracy Sadler is actually leading a group on scripture memorization. I'm looking forward to that one. I'm going to try to be a part of that group. Looking forward to that. We have 2 actually Sunday nights. One here at BCC Olivia, too, is actually going to be leading a study on the book of Proverbs. Talk about getting some wisdom and really digging into that book. And then there's actually one at 8 p.m. that's actually going to be utilizing our subscription to Right Now Media as Christy Gatlin and my wife Amber Schott lead a parents study. This is open to moms and dads that maybe it's kind of hard to get out of the house, but you can still be a part of this after you get the kids to bed at 8 p.m. on a Sunday night. We also have a study on Tuesdays, a women's study on the book of 1 Samuel. Your wife, Sally, and Maya Corbell will be leading that. And then we have a group for men on Thursdays. Okay, I'm going to say prepare you guys. 6 a.m. at Pettibone, where Jim Wright and Dennis Hall will actually be leading a conversation on one of our values, which is choosing humility. It's approaching life in any matter-of-fact way. We're going to run with it. Keep going, John. Yeah, see, just the way I did. But choosing humility and the fact of humility. Right. And we're really excited about this. This is it's a little nerve-wracking too, because we're trying something new and there's always some challenges and some nerves that go along with that, because we want this to succeed, but we also want it to really meet a need in your lives. And so we're just trying something new. And again, just a reminder, if you're in a home group, don't feel like you have to jump into one of these seasonal groups. If you want to, that's great, but we don't want to just add one more thing to your, we're all busy, right? We don't want to add one more thing to your busy schedule. So we're asking you to choose one or the other. If you got time, fantastic, that's great. But, so just these 5 options, you can take a look at them again here and online as well. So yeah, and as Ed said, you feel free to choose one of these 5 options that fit best for you. Our friend right over there, the QR code, scan that right now and pick one of those, and we're going to try to offer childcare as best we can. So make sure to please let us know. We're gonna find a way to make childcare available, but we need to know ahead of time if that is a need. Yep, sounds good. Perfect. Thanks, Ed.
All right. So now you've got a better idea of what we're talking about with our fall seasonal groups. We invite you to find one of these groups that you're interested in, or that can help you take whatever next steps the Lord may be leading you to take. You can sign up by scanning this QR code to look a little closer at the options that we have, or check them out on the BCC app. Again, our seasonal groups will kick off the week of September 14th, and we hope you'll be a part of one of them. Now, finally, we cannot thank you enough for your generosity and financial partnership. It literally keeps the lights on around here, as well as helps all of us love and serve the cities we call home. You can give however works best for you, and you can see those on the screen. Now, for our message time today, we've got something a little different. A few times a year, we address a topic about our emotional or mental health that many of us face, and it's that time again. These are important because we recognize that life isn't always rainbows and unicorns.
To the broken and to the hurting, to the desperate and to the defeated, to the common, the average, the plain and the small, I want you to know you matter to God. To the washed up and the worn out, to the helpless and the hopeless, to the cast outs, the dropouts, the last picks and hypocrites, to the unimpressive and the underwhelming, to the nobodies and has-beens, to people just like me. You matter to God. You are not defined by your worst days or your biggest mistakes. And you are not the sum total of all your setbacks, slip-ups, failures, and faults. Because who you are is not determined by what you have, where you've been, or what you've done, but who Jesus declares you to be. You matter to God. Maybe at some point somebody told you something that simply wasn't true. That you're nothing but unworthy, unwanted, and unloved. But I want the loudest voice in your ear to be the voice that breaks the cedars and shakes the wilderness, and he says, you matter to me. Before the galaxies were born, or the first star gave light, before the ocean waves crashed or the night sky cracked with thunder, before any creature crawled or any bird sang, before the planets were set in motion, he set in motion the plan of your salvation. From the highest heights of heaven, the Lord of all creation looked upon your desperation. He became like one of us to remake all of us, to make an orphan his child, to make a rebel his friend, to set the prisoner free. You matter to God. So to all the sons and daughters of God, to all my brothers and sisters in Christ, behold his power and glory and majesty. Behold the one who matters most.
As Adam said in that announcements, a couple times a year, some of you are well familiar with it. Some of you, this is the first time experiencing life isn't always rainbows and unicorns. Over the past, as Adam has said, we've looked at emotional health, mental health. We're looking at relational health. And typically, we try to invite in a guest that we can lean in on their expertise, their background, their wealth of knowledge in a specific area. And we kind of wrestled through what we're gonna look at for the year. And one of the areas we wanted to look at was in the area of special needs, of individuals with special needs, families that special needs are a part of their family, and what that looks like, and how we as a church can come alongside, can resource, can again live out, which is the driving force in our mission, is to live out the good news, and to be active in that way. And so I'm really excited that, wow, I cannot tell you, it does not happen very often when you send out a blind email to someone that they get back to you within like an hour. Okay, Josh Wellner here, and his cohort, which is also Josh. I'm bummed that Josh couldn't be here, but it made it way easier. Or I was going to call you guys by your last names, maybe. I don't know. Carson and Wellner sounds like a law firm. But Josh works with Greene County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and like I said, got back to us within the hour. But not only like, hey, thanks for like excitement. And Josh and I got a chance to meet via Zoom after some emails back and forth. And I really am not just blowing smoke. I'm really excited. The Zoom with him, it was awesome. So much energy and passion. Just as like you can tell, just that's who he is. But especially as we talk about this specific topic and area. Josh, thank you for responding so quickly. Thank you for being willing to come up here and have this conversation. And I've already told Josh, hey, this is not a one-off. We're going to have this conversation again down the road. And also, as we talk about today, we'll find some ways to partner together and support each other. But Josh, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, it's on.
It will be.
So I'm Josh Wellner, and I'm the Community Outreach Manager for the Greene County Board of Developmental Disabilities. And I responded so quickly to the email because I'm desperate. And we are desperate. My philosophy is I will go anywhere, anytime, anywhere to talk to anybody about what we're trying to do. Because most community groups, they nod their heads and say yes, but there's typically very little follow through, and our folks are very isolated. So I was really excited that this is like never happened, something like this. So I'm really excited to be here. A little bit about the Greene County Board of Developmental Disabilities. We serve approximately 1,300 people just in Greene County across all age groups, all the way from babies diagnosed at birth with a developmental disability all the way to, I think our oldest person is around 76 years old right now. But we have pretty even distribution across the age groups. The youngest ones might be our largest population we serve. The overall, the greatest characteristic of our folks, though, is that I would consider them to be at risk. And I don't know if you're familiar with at-risk populations, but it's kind of something that I specialize in. Over the years, I've worked with tons of different groups of people that I would consider at risk, and that can be, I've worked with the youth that are involved in the correction system. I've worked with kids with disabilities. I've worked with single moms, low-income populations. All of these are groups that I would consider at risk. I currently go to a church on Xenia Avenue where we serve mostly people that are in recovery from drugs and alcohol. And I would consider all of these to be at risk. And the main, for me, identifier of an at-risk population is their connection to community groups. And I call it social capital. And social capital, I would define that as spendable relationships. So you all in this room probably have a great deal of social capital. And I think one of the greater measurements of social capital, like how easy would it be for you to become homeless? Like, to me, it's a good measurement of social capital. Because if the answer is it would be difficult, well, then that means you have social capital. Like, if you know people you would call if you needed help, you have social capital. And so the less social capital you have, the more at risk you are. And so when I work with families, you would be amazed the level of isolation. Often families are very connected, very well-to-do families who will become very, very isolated when they have a child with a disability because the community does not really know how to engage them, and their world will just slowly shrivel and atrophy around them. And there's several things that, like for the kid, I work with a lot of transition age, which is kids that are 14 to 22, going from school into adulthood. And there's some things I'm looking for in their lives, and it's kind of like, I call it Wellner's Web, because it's something I've made up, that when a kid's leaving high school, I'm looking for 5 things. I'm looking for employment, I'm looking for transportation, I'm looking for friendships, not school friends, because those are going away. I'm looking for attachments to community groups, and I'm looking for healthy habits and lifestyle. And overwhelmingly, the people I work with are missing at least several of those. And they're all very interconnected. If I don't have employment, that means I don't have money. That means I'm going to have transportation problems, which means I'm going to have a hard time connecting with friends, social groups. I'm probably going to make bad food choices. But all of these things are true. Like, if you lost your driver's license today, it would impact your employment. It would impact. So we find that these are like very interconnected things that our folks are struggling with. So that's kind of what, like, when I describe my folks as being isolated and at risk, that's kind of a picture of what we're talking about.
Wow. Okay. So I'm a processor. So now I'm supposed to ask you questions while at the same time I'm thinking about everything you're saying. Thank you. If you could give us like a snapshot, because you and I, even on the Zoom, you shared this with me, and again, I probably just sat there in silence thinking through everything you were talking about, but you kind of presented and said, hey, this is a really healthy thing. It's just to kind of give a snapshot of an average day. Kind of, and at least for me, one of those bullet points hit for me really, really big. But could you kind of give us a little bit of that snapshot of what that average day looks like?
Yeah, so for me, when my kids leave school, I want them to be connected to the community the way all of you are connected to the community, which means you have an autonomous life where you make your own decisions, you do what you want, you go where you want, you hang out where you want, you go out to eat where you want, you do what you want for fun, you do whatever you want. My folks don't have those options. Sorry. So you got to imagine what it's like to have mostly paid relationships. And the older my folks get, the worse it gets. As their families die, like my 76-year-old literally probably only has people paid to be in their life. And this is like really common. So out of the people I serve, 67% of them don't have jobs. There's a lot of reasons for that. I could talk about this stuff all day long because, like, our younger folks have a better chance because they have a way better educational system behind them than our older folks. So it's just like so many systemic failures that to have a developmental disability is to be like literally the most at risk. Like, if you think about any other social group that we see being represented in the media, if you could think of any other social group that had a 67% rate of unemployment, there would be literal rioting in the streets. I always like to use this example. In Ohio, we have a group called Opportunities for Ohioans with Disabilities, and it's a employment-specific group to help our folks get jobs. And that sounds like a great idea, but it's so discriminatory at its core. Because if you could imagine, if we just chose any other group, any other minority group, and said, you know, employers don't want to hire these people, but we're okay with that. So we're going to start a statewide agency and spend millions of dollars to try to convince people to hire that minority group. You would have cars flipped over in the streets. You would have rioting. But this is the life of a person with a disability every day. So that's kind of who we're talking about. That's what a day looks like.
Something else that you mentioned in our conversation, which took me back, because you're like, hey, this is what we're being, Greene County, Board of DD, this is what we're good at. And you gave me 3 things. Hey, we're good at these 3 things. But then you're like, and here's what we're bad at. Yeah. And I was like, oh, wait, you're going to, okay, good thing this isn't like an interview or something. Yeah, like, here's my weaknesses. But can you share that, the one side of the coin, and then, surprise, here's the bad side?
Yeah, so we're really good. We're a social service agency, so we're really good at keeping people safe. We can keep people in homes. We can get them to their doctor's appointments. We can make sure they have food, clothing, medical care. Those are things that we're really, really good at doing. And we do a good job of it. We serve 1,300 people. You guys, we're levy funded. Greene County's great about voting for our levy and making sure we have the funds to do what we do. Medicaid also gives us a ton of money to do what we do. So we're really, really good at keeping people safe in that way. But what we're really, really not good at doing, and we're not equipped to do it, is we're not good at helping our folks build meaningful lives that are connected to the community. We just can't do it. There's just no possible way that for us to do it. And that's what this is all about today, is how do we figure out, like, how do we partner with community groups and with other existing people, groups that exist to help them just develop normal relationships that aren't paid relationships. So have you guys ever heard of an adult day program? An adult day program is basically a daycare for adults with disabilities. Like, my dream, like, to me, the existence of adult day programs means we have societally failed. We decided that we would rather just through our taxes pay somebody to deal with this problem, and that we don't really want to have relationships with these people. We'll just let somebody else go put them in a place all day, every day. And that's what most of my folks do with their lives. Like 67% of them are all day at a day program. And it's very unfulfilling. So that's what this is about for me today, is how do we engage people to help our folks live meaningful lives?
I hope this doesn't feel, and we talk through this so that no one's surprised by questions. So we have papers up here. There's the behind the scenes. But there's something you shared with me that I want to make sure that we find time for, because some of you may be familiar with it. I was not, and it still has me. I'm a visual learner as it is, and so when Josh shared this with me, it made me, I've just been reeling over it and thinking about it a lot, and because we were talking about just, hey, as the church, how can we be the church outside of this? This right here is a gathering, but we are the church beyond these walls, beyond this building, beyond this, the parameters, the borders of this property. And how can we live it out? How can we be active? But even on top of that, how can we be an inclusive, welcoming facility and community here? And talking through, steps that we've taken and steps we'd like to take and dream about. And that's when Josh mentioned this. Could you share this, please?
Yeah. So
sorry. And this is hopefully not out in left field for you.
No. So I'm obsessed with a thing called universal design. And universal design is when we build something that is accessible to everyone. It's not special. It's not some weird thing we're doing. And so this is a picture of a Rubik Cube that somebody made for blind people. And that sounds like a great idea. Wow, they can enjoy the Rubik Cube. But it's foolish because it's white. And if you had made the Rubik Cube with Braille, with color, everyone could have done the Rubik Cube. But so we fail at universal design all the time. And I don't really like special things. I like for the folks I serve to be treated like everybody else. I do a lot of stuff in the employment sphere, and people just cringe when I say this, but one of my favorite things is when people with disabilities get fired. And I like it when they get fired because it means they're being treated like everybody else. Like if you didn't perform, you get fired. That's what happened. You don't get treated special. Now we should do better to find a job that works for you. So how do you not get fired? But So these are just the sort of things that, like, we want things that are designed to be inclusive for our folks. A while ago, I met with the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission, and I kind of ambushed them because I was there to talk about bike path usage and accessibility. And they thought I was going to be talking about curb cuts and ramps and all of this stuff. But I changed the conversation to more of a, do I have a reason to be there? Like, we can have the most accessible bike paths in the world, but if I don't have a reason to be on the bike path, if I don't have a group of people like I go there with, if no one's taking the time to train me how to use it, showed me how to use it, a bike path is useless. It doesn't matter how good your wheelchair ramps are. And so that's kind of what I find is that we, even if we do a good job designing something, I don't know. I just think a lot of what we do is cringe, and I don't really like special groups for special people. Like, we would never do, this is our Bible study for black people. We're doing this. This is a great new thing we started. Or we wouldn't do that. Like, you would be run out of town if you did that. And so I feel like but that's what we do with people with disabilities all the time. We're going to make this special, inclusive Bible study. No, just make a Bible study that's inclusive where they can go with everybody else, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. And if you're a processor like me, you're shutting down now because you're just like, whoa, thinking about that. Can we put some skin to what we community or we as individuals can do to help support your community, as well as maybe, like what can this look like? What can this interactive relationship look like?
Well, I'm going to get real obnoxious for a second. I'm going to switch hats, and I'll put my Christian hat on, not my Greene County Board of DD hat. And I'm obsessed with one-on-one disciple-building relationships. I think the end of Matthew 28 is the only thing the church is called to do, and it's the one thing we almost never do. And I'm a huge believer that the American church has everything backwards. And most people think that if I could just get my friend to church, we'll turn them into a disciple. And in reality, my job is to go build disciples, and that's why they come to church. We spend all of our time focused, we're literally preaching to the choir in this place constantly, because everybody in here should already be a disciple that was made out there. So I have a group of people that desperately need to be made into disciples. Like, they need somebody to go to them. And so, yes, we could do things here to entice them. But like, my coworker and I hosted 96 events last year that were almost completely ignored by the community. Most of our events are free. They're open to the community. We want people to join us. We need people to join us. And almost nobody does ever. Like, we do this thing called Diners Club every month where we just go out for dinner somewhere in the community. And it's not a small event. Like, we were at Mackenzie River in Beaver Creek last week, and we had like 76 people there. So we had over half the restaurant. But it's us. It's segregated. And I always tell people that we are often in the community, but we're not of the community. We're not operating it in a normal way. So what I would love is if, and I saw that QR code on the screen, and I'm kicking myself because I have a mailing list with a QR code. And so we have this group called All Hands In, and that's what we host events. Like, literally every week I have 1 to 2 events going on that are out in the community that are designed to help our folks meet the community who ignores us. So if people would literally just come to an event, just meet the people I work with, befriend them, talk to them, treat them like normal people, like, that would be, it's so amazing to me when a normal community member comes to any of our events. I'm always trying to work with school groups. I love it. A lot of times I'll get like National Honor Society kids to come, but then they graduate and move away. So I really need people that are willing to stay, to invest, to befriend, and that would be like the number one thing. But like I said, I'm absolutely desperate. So if anybody ever said to me, hey, do you want to do, like, any community group could offer me anything, like literally anything, and we would say, yes, we'll be there, we'll do it, for sure. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be crocheting. It could be anything. We will do it. Because I just want to expose my folks to stuff. But I need people to say to me, can we do this? Can you do this with us? So I'm open. I brought like a ton of business cards. And I would love for everybody to take one. I'd like for everybody to email me. I'd like for everybody to get on my mailing list. And I'd love to start being overwhelmed with people that don't have disabilities coming. I will tell you one last thing. I don't want to hog up all the time. we do this NERF event with Russ Nature Reserve, with Greene County Parks and Trails. And it's one of my favorite things that we do because probably 75% of the kids don't have a disability because nobody else is hosting a Nerf gun tournament. So we just do this giant Nerf gun event like 3 or 4 times a year where kids without, and what's funny is if you go look in a preschool classroom, you can't tell who has a disability in there. They're all doing weird things. You can't tell. I mean, and the kids in a preschool, they don't care who has a disability. It's when we get older that the tracks start to divide. And by the time we get to high school, it really starts getting ugly. And then by the time we get into adulthood, everybody went off to live normal lives, and the kids with disabilities went to live isolated, horrible lives. And I'll tell you, another example of this is I tried to partner with all the senior, I thought, all these senior homes are isolated. Why don't I partner with them? We could all do something together. No, senior citizens didn't want anything to do with the folks I serve. That was a huge fail. So that's what we're trying to do is figure out how do we get folks to just care, to just come meet our folks. That's all we want.
So do they need to come bombard you, or we're going to leave your cards? No matter what, we'd love to. We'll be corresponding. We will be putting up. Can they go somewhere right now? Which no disrespect at all. Pick up your phone if you need to. Can they go to anywhere specific since we don't have a QR code?
If they go to Facebook and they look up All Hands In and then GCBDD, because there's lots of All Hands In groups out there.
Okay, we're going to say it one more time for those who slow typers, slow thumbs.
All Hands In. And then GCBDD, and our logo looks like a bunch of hands up in the air. And if you follow us, you'll start at least getting to see our stuff in your feed. I have a whole bunch of cards. If you take my card and send me an email, there's a way you can join our mailing list. And we send out, it's not a bunch of spam. We send out a newsletter once a month with everything going on, and we send out a weekly reminder of what we have happening and with more details. So we would love it if anybody would join us.
Josh, I want to thank you for your time. We're going to continue having this conversation. We're actually going to, here in a moment, invite Christy to come up as well to talk through some specific ways in which we have tried to implement, as well as dreaming about the future as well. But before that, I reached out to Jen Curley, mom of Emmy. If you don't know Emmy, you need to meet Emmy here at the church. And she sent me this email. I just asked if she would be willing to provide a perspective as a parent. And then following that, there's a video that I actually saw at a church post recently just about loving and those with special needs and trying to find ways to be inclusive and welcoming. And so I want to share that and then invite Christy up. But I'm going to take a second here. Josh, is going to be story time, if you're okay with that. Becoming a parent of a child with special needs was never on my bucket list. God knew Emmeline Kate was exactly what our family needed, though. She taught us to slow down and celebrate every moment, no matter how small. She always sees the good in people and is quick to give a hug when she senses someone needs it, and sometimes brings the recipient to tears with her intuition. It's a myth that people with Down syndrome are always happy. Sure, Emmy is easygoing, but she has the same range of emotions as anyone else. And she has a crazy stubborn streak that I know she inherited from me. I don't think people intentionally exclude Em from activities, but it took a while. It took a while for her to find her place and her people. She made some great friends in her American Heritage Girls Troop and through our homeschool co-op. She's part of an amazing church group for teens and adults with special needs. The zest these individuals have for life is contagious, and I dare you to not cry when listening to them sing about the goodness of God. They don't care that they are off key or a beat behind, because they are praising the one who made them perfectly in his image. I wish I wouldn't have worried so much about Emmy Kate and her future when she was born. She is loved by everyone who meets her. She is smart and an excellent problem solver. She has great taste in music and can go from listening to Dolly Parton to Michael Jackson to Journey to Queen and then to Kane. She loves Jesus, her dog Gunner, writing notes, riding horses, swimming, and swinging in the backyard for hours on end. MEK filled a hole in our family that we didn't know existed. And I couldn't say it 18 years ago, but I am continually amazed at God's goodness in blessing us with a child that had a little something extra. It was just the something extra we needed to truly make our family perfect.
A lot of the times, families with kids with special needs struggle to find a place where they fit in or even just where they can go. Sometimes it's just easier to stay home. My name is Kelly Tompkins, and these are my sons. This is Peter, who's trying to escape, and Jace. Peter was adopted from China in December of 2014, and Jace was adopted from China in January of 2017. And both boys have been diagnosed with autism, as well as Peter is completely deaf. Peter and Jace have 3 older siblings, JR, who's 13, and Ainsley and Autumn, who are both 11. So finding a church family has been a little bit difficult to fit our whole family. After COVID, the church that we were previously attending just didn't have the volunteers that they had before COVID. And what was really hard is that the little boys really need somebody with them all the time, like a buddy. Yeah. They still deserve a church experience. And even though maybe cognitively they don't quite get all of it, like as a believer, I still want them to feel God's love through other people.
So for those who have not had the privilege to meet Christy Gatlin, Christy is our children's pastor here, our kids' life pastor. And when we were discussing and brainstorming topics for this upcoming year, and especially this one coming up, again, behind the scenes, we actually were possibly going another direction and saving this for another time, and that one fell through. And again, thanks to Josh for replying so quickly. But Christy presented this and said, why not now? And can I ask, why champion this so much?
Well, there are a couple reasons. I will try not to cry too, but that's probably not going to happen. So most of you probably know, or many of you know, that my mom is in a wheelchair. She has been for about 30 years now of some sort. It's really progressed now. For the past 15 years, she's not really able to transfer herself in and out of the wheelchair, so it really limits what she can do. And so it affects her ability to participate in things. And then another reason is I've just, over the course of the past 10 years, really, maybe since starting here as the kids pastor, been exposed to a new theology of disability. I've been reading books. I put some of them out there if you want to look at them, but Heather Avis is an author. I've read a couple of her books. Catherine Wolfe has a book. I have another one by Amy Kenny. That one's a little harsher, but they're all really good. They've given me some new perspectives. There's a podcast I have enjoyed from Amy Julia Becker about reimagining the good life and what that looks like. Hope Heals is a camp that is in Alabama that serves people, not just kids, but people with disabilities and their families, serves them and serves with them. And I attended that with my son Corey a couple years ago as a volunteer, which was hugely impactful. And then through CPC, Children's Pastors Conferences, I've been intentional about seeking out discussion groups on this sort of topic. So, and then lastly, one of the things is I think it really matters to God. I think what Scripture says about us as humans is very clear, and that what we believe is true about disabilities shows what we believe is true about God. So there's a fine line of serving people with different abilities and discovering ways to worship and serve with them. That it's more than just doing something for, it's doing stuff with. So I can talk more about what I see in the Bible here in a second. But those
Absolutely.
are some of the reasons why it's important to me.
Right. And just the other day, you sent me this post
Yeah.
that, if you have your phones out, take a picture of that and revisit that picture at some point, just to really wrestle through that message.
I mean, that's kind of what Josh said just a little bit ago.
Exactly.
Like, what's the point of a bike trail if there's no reason to be on the bike trail?
Absolutely. How in some steps, and I'm just excited when coming in 2.5, 3 years ago, already some steps taken in that way. But how has BCC, Kids Life, Tribe, which is our students, POLC, which is our learning center, our kids learning center here during the week. We have kids running the hall, well, not running the halls. They're in classrooms. They're being taken care of, but they're everywhere, and it's awesome. But how, in what ways have they? Have we taken steps? What have we done, or what are we planning on doing?
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, I would say Ashley Walker with PLC has probably led the charge more than anything. There aren't a lot of centers that will take kids that have trauma needs, physical or mental disabilities, and Ashley is like, how can we find ways to make a space for everybody? It really gets her upset when she finds out that kids aren't able to go to a center. So, Ashley, thank you for all that you've done. But then, practically, you might notice that there's some spaces in next to seats here. One of the things for my mom is usually she shows up at church and the only place to sit is the very back row. That's the only place that they will leave a space, or there's no space at all. So you got to make a big to-do because you've come in with a wheelchair and there's no place for you to be. So I started haranguing Terry, and at the time my daughter Lucy was setting up the chairs, and I said, we have got to make a spot for people who come in with a wheelchair to be able to sit and not feel like they are a burden. I said the same thing about our tables. I don't know, if you're newer, you might know that some of those shorter tables, they used to all be tall. And I looked at them one day and thought, well, if someone has any sort of mobility issue, they can't sit at these tall tables. If someone's in a wheelchair, they're going to sit down here and look at everybody, like this. So, to the point of, just universal design. How can we make this universal for everybody? More slowly than I'd like, I started working on trying to build a buddy team for kids who come in and need an additional pair of hands to help. And so that's something that we're working on. We're also in the developing stages of our sensory room that serves PLC kids during the week and then would also be available for us. So those are some of the practical things that we've been intentional about doing.
And if you didn't catch what she was saying there about the space available in the seats, and this is something that Christy was talking to Terry and that team about, was making sure that space wasn't the back row, and that it was up closer to the front. And so it wasn't like, hey, the only space we have for you is way back there. So we made sure to have that space, which is why there's that indentation there, like second, third, fourth row. I can't count. I can't see through the lights right now. But that's why that's there. And I appreciate that heart and that thought process there.
I think Terry got tired of me bugging her about it.
Oh, yeah. No, you yeah. Just the constant dripping. It'll happen. It'll get there. You talked about a couple practical steps, some roles, maybe buddy systems and all that kind of, those opportunities.
Yeah, so for sure there's the opportunity to serve as a buddy with a student that has special needs, either in Kids Life or with PAC 56. Even tribe nights, if Chase and Sarah are needing that in the evenings for their tribe group. So that's something that I'd love to talk to anybody who's interested. We have the City Serve Carnival that we've taken some of our ideas from Popcorn Fest and said, let's make a space that kids with special needs can come enjoy. And then at the same time as we're realizing that, we're like, okay, now then how do we take the things that we do at Popcorn Festival and then make them inclusive so anyone who walks up at Popcorn Festival can enjoy it too. So just having eyes to see some of the needs and try to meet them before they're needed, that be available and ready for them.
And that'll be the third year for this Special Needs Carnival, and you'd be like, wow, that feels like it's something's off there. What's off is now it's in October. We had it in July 3 years ago, and we had a miraculous 70-degree day, so it was perfect. The next year, we had a melt your face off, insane. Nobody should be outside. Even if we brought a lot of stuff inside, it just was like nobody wanted to be out. And so we wanted to respect the community across the board, and so we moved it to hopefully October being a little cooler in Ohio. So that is an opportunity coming up. So we've talked with Josh, we've talked to Christy about stuff going on, but for us, and Josh spoke to this about disciple making and in that relationship, that one-on relationship, and making disciples out, not that being in here. But I don't want to have this conversation without really laying into like that foundational, like what are we standing on, why we're really doing this, how has God laid this path for us, to this calling for us to be obedient in this way, to be loving, to that overflow of love that we first received from him, we talked about earlier. Christy, can you speak towards that, and maybe without crying?
Maybe. Well, in Ephesians it says we're all God's masterpieces. So no, I can't. Created to do things in advance. Like in advance, he has stuff for all of us. And when we read Psalm 139, we see that too. We see the psalmist say that your works are wonderful. I know that full well. Do we know it full well that all of his works are wonderful, that all of what he has created is wonderful? Challenge yourself on that. Think about it. What does it mean to know full well that all of God's works are wonderful? What do you actually believe about people with disabilities? Or put another way, do someone's abilities make them more valuable to God in our community? In Genesis, all things were created good before they did a lick of work. Adam was created good, and then he was called to do stuff. Jesus was baptized, and the first thing that God says to him is that he is good, beloved, and God is pleased. Jesus hadn't done anything yet. So our value does not rest in our ability to contribute to our society, and that doesn't matter what our abilities are, mentally, physically, anything. So that's first. Secondly, I'd like to talk a little bit about community. When we look in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, I think I kind of mentioned this before. Well, I'll read the whole verse here for you. Just as a body, though one, has many parts, but all its many parts form one body, so it is with Christ. For we were all baptized by one Spirit so as to form one body, whether Jews or Gentiles, slaves or free, and we were all given the one Spirit to drink. Even so, the body is not made up of one part, but of many. Now, if the foot should say, because I am not a hand, I do not belong to the body, it would not for that reason stop being part of the body. And if the ear should say, because I am not an eye, I do not belong to the body, it would not for that reason stop being a part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would the sense of hearing be? If the whole body were an ear, where would the sense of smell be? But in fact, God has placed the parts in the body, every one of them, just as he wanted them to be. We're all one part. Where would the body be? As it is, are many parts, but one body. The eye cannot say to the hand, I do not need you. And the hand cannot say to the feet, I do not need you. On the contrary, here's the big part. Those parts of the body that seem to be weaker are indispensable. And the parts that we think are less honorable, we treat with special honor. And the parts that are unpresentable are treated with special modesty, while our presentable parts need no special treatment. But God has put the body together, giving greater honor to the parts that lacked it, so that there should be no division in the body, but that its parts should have equal concern for each other. If one part suffers, every part suffers with it. If one part is honored, every part rejoices with it. Now you are the body of Christ, and each one of you is a part of it. I said this a little bit ago. When we talk about disability in the church, I think it's important that we don't talk about ministry 4. people with disabilities, but ministry with everyone. Those two small prepositions change the definitions really big. And of course, we should make changes for others so that others can be part of our community, but it's not really the end goal. We want to make changes so that everybody can worship together, so that we can serve together, so that we can make disciples together. And so then the final thing I want to bring out is what our responsibility is. In 1 John 3, it says, if someone has enough money to live well and sees a brother or sister in need, but shows no compassion, how can God's love be in that person? Dear children, let's not merely say that we love each other. Let us show the truth by our actions. So if you look around BCC, I want you to think about how do we make this a space of belonging? Look around, see who's missing. How can we become a place of belonging that brings heaven to earth today? How can we live out that love?
I think that's called a mic drop. I won't drop it. Yeah. Adam's going to come busting out that door. I have no words. I want to say this, Josh. I apologize. Some reason the slide's not showing your information as it pops up. So make sure you hunt him down for his information. We will also find ways to put it in the newsletter and other things. It should have been up there, and for some reason that part of the slide was not showing. So I apologize about that. But make sure you connect with Josh. If you have a welling up inside to connect with him and find a way to start building relationships out, through the community. Don't suppress that. Don't try to silence that feel. You say yes.
And I got to tell you guys, it's not like I'm asking you to do something that's horrible. It's fun. Like our events are fun things. My daughter back there used to always come to Special Olympics, and I used to compare it to kind of like going to the gym. You might feel like, I don't feel like doing this today, but you're always glad after you go. Like I always have fun, even if I don't I always have fun at my events. Like the folks I work with are very enjoyable to be around. I have a good time with them. I gotta say one more thing about Ashley over here. So Ashley, I've had the pleasure of kind of building a pilot example out of with the Precious Ones Daycare, how we're partnering with Precious Ones, and that is I would love to be able to say that this is a pilot or a prototype we're building here for how what does this look like when a church partners with us. And I would love it if there's 150 churches in Greene County. I looked it up. And imagine if all of them were fighting over the at-risk populations and going to them and trying to get them. Those are the people that need to be here, but they're not going to come here. You have to go get them. So I would love it if we could build a reproducible, this is what we did at Beaver Creek Christian, and this is how it worked and why it worked. And it'd be really cool if other churches wanted to get involved in that.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So again, my encouragement is this, is if there is an interest, if there is a spark inside, please don't quench that. Please don't pour some water on it. And if there is a conversation I want to know more, I want to step into one of those spaces, whether that is here in some opportunities, if that's with Josh and his team. And if you're not sure how to navigate that or reach out, or you didn't get one of the 1.5 million business cards, reach out to one of us and we will point you in that direction for sure. But I want to be able to pray for both of the teams here, Josh, for you and your team, Christy and the team here, and the opportunities. So if you guys don't mind, I just want to go to our King now and just worship him for his masterpiece of creation. Jesus, we just come to you and God, I pray that it's our prayer that we want to love like you. That we don't just say that. But that we truly live it out, that we step into that space. God, I pray for those here, online, watching this in the future, God, I pray for your Spirit to just be evident, speaking into them. And again, God, let us be that beacon, that light in a person's isolated world, in their dark world, in their lonely world. Not for ourselves, not for our own accolades, Lord, but for your purpose. Lord, let us step into the call that you call us who to be and how to be to everyone. God, let us love with action. God, let us truly follow you. Thank you for both of these individuals up here, Christy and Josh, and sharing their passion, their heart. God, we pray you bless their obedience. For your kingdom. We love you, Jesus. Amen.
the one who gave it all. I'll stand, my soul, Lord, to you surrender. All I am is yours. So what can I say? And what can I do? But offer this heart, oh God, completely to you. Thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you for Christy and for Josh for coming up and speaking with us today. As you see, Popcorn Festival is 2 weeks away. So not only do you have an amazing opportunity to help serve our community at the Popcorn Festival, you also have an opportunity to serve Sunday morning during and after our morning worship service at the Popcorn Festival. So if you have not signed up yet, we're not going to drag your hands over to go sign up, but we might. So there's a sign up. Is there a sign up out in the lobby right now? Ready for you to sign up. If you need a minute to look at the times, you can sign up at home. Do it anytime this week as soon as you can, so we make sure we have enough hands and feet to be the hands and feet of Jesus out in our